And like literally, as soon as we get ready to come on the air, we hear police sirens in the background. I'm not really sure if you guys can hear that. Well, hopefully it's not going to get so damn loud that it's going to be pulling up right up to my front door. I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I ain't do shit. What's going on, guys? You're checking out a special Monday night edition of the RCWR show coming at you guys for this November the 19th, 2018. Just a couple of minutes removed from an all-new, somewhat lackluster episode of Monday Night Raw. Man, yeah, lackluster indeed. We'll get into that in just a hot second. Covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011, it's the RCWR show. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me, Lee Sanders. So we're coming at you guys on a Monday night for very good reason. I had talked about this last week, mentioned it off and on a couple of times, so I want to kind of save the longtime listeners a little bit of I don't want to hear it again, but just to kind of give you guys an update on our programming schedule for this week. With the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, it just made a lot of sense for me to just go on ahead and get an episode out the way on Monday, because I'm actually taking a little bit of an extended break away from work. Also gives me some time to recuperate, rest up. I've been doing a lot of voiceover projects and other things side business wise for the past couple of weeks. So this week is actually awesome because my calendar is just completely clear. I can just catch up with the family, catch up with the friends. Got to do some last minute stuff for Thanksgiving. You know how that is. We did a big bulk of our shopping over the weekend, me and the missus. So we got pretty much all the essentials that we need, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple of loose items that we need to go back out and we got to get. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the cooking. I'm actually going to be doing my fair share of the cooking, but it just made a lot of sense to go on ahead and get the episode out of the way, because I've got to pretty much get the house straightened up, got to do some last minute grocery shopping. You guys know how it is when it's Thanksgiving week, so I'm sure you guys don't mind. There is some stuff that was pre-recorded that I may end up actually releasing. I'm about 80% sure I'm going to be releasing it for you guys come Thanksgiving. So for those of you that maybe are looking for some bonus content, I'll hook you up with a little something that'll definitely tie you over while you're traveling, spending some time with the family and all that, and it'll definitely tie you over until we come on back on our regularly scheduled date and times of Tuesdays after SmackDown goes off the air. In the meantime, I do have a fun poll that's up right now. I'm asking you guys, would you like to see more Monday night edition episodes of the RCWR show? Way you can interact on that poll by casting your vote. Head on over to the communities tab section of the RCWR show channel on YouTube, and you'll see your options. You have yes, but just Raw recap only. So you're basically letting me know, yeah, I'd like for you to do a Monday night show, but just give me a Raw recap only. And then your next option, yes, give me the full RCWR show I've come to expect. Move it to Mondays. Next option, yes, but give me a Tuesday episode as well. So 2 shows weekly. Then, of course, whenever there's a Sunday night pay-per-view or NXT is doing something on a Saturday or maybe a Friday night, you know how that schedule is going to go automatically. And then your next option, no, stick to Tuesdays with occasional Mondays here and there. And then your last option, just flat out, no, just Tuesday shows and Saturday NXT with Sunday pay-per-view shows. Just fine. So sound off on that. I'll poke my head in there and see what you guys have to say before the broadcast is out. I had said towards the end of our Survivor Series pay-per-view recap show, and I do appreciate you guys that had took the time out to check that out. Much love as always when you guys do that. I had said that I was going to have the first 30 minutes of tonight's show be opened up to listeners. So if you want to call in, you can definitely do so, because I did notice the past couple of weeks there's been a little bit of a spike. I would say within the last 2 weeks there's been a little bit of a spike. Different people have been trying to call in, and sadly it happened at a time when we're just minutes removed from a pay-per-view event, and I didn't get a full chance to go over the full recap, and it's like, no, we'll come back to the calls later. Like, that's the way most shows usually operate. They take the calls after they get the recap out the way for those that did not check it out. So I told you guys that we were going to open up the first 30 minutes of the show to those that want to call in. So if you were one of those people these past couple of shows, past couple of weeks, you can definitely call in right now. It's like 11:23 p.m. Eastern right now. So basically 11:55. Let's just round it off. 11:55. If you haven't called by then that's pretty much it. Maybe I'll offer it up one more time before we get ready to go off the air, right? But, so we are in the middle of, what is this now, guys? This is night 3 of 4 that WWE is at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. 4-night event, basically. They're for the whole Survivor Series weekend, takeover weekend. So, pretty much so far at that center, at that arena, we have seen NXT TakeOver War Games. We saw Survivor Series. Tonight we got Raw, and everything reaches its conclusion, proper conclusion, with Tuesday night's SmackDown. I'll definitely be checking that out. So for those of you that are maybe used to interacting with me when it comes to SmackDown on Tuesdays, yes, if you're following me on Twitter, I will be watching that. What's up, Johnny? What's up, Steven? What's going on with you guys? Shout out to everybody else that's tuning in. Yeah, Raw tonight, I gotta say, you know, I was expecting a lot of sizzle. I was expecting a lot of pop. I was expecting a lot of, ooh, you know, because I'm going into Survivor Series and just going towards the end of that to see that Raw just did a clean sweep. And now we understand a little bit more with regards to what exactly went down with that pre-show where SmackDown went over. What the fuck? And it doesn't take a genius to figure out. You don't need a wrestling website to tell you that apparently there was a fuck up, but word was apparently by a couple of reliable wrestling websites is that somehow whoever were the people in charge of booking that pre-show matchup, somehow the communication got lost in translation of who needed to go over. And as a result of that, you saw the SmackDown team win. So for me, that makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm like this. If it was going to be a situation where the original plan was always Raw will do a sweep, Raw is going to dominate the hell out of SmackDown, they aren't getting any wins, then, I mean, how do you mess something like that up? How does the communication get lost in translation? I don't understand that whatsoever. You should have just went on ahead, and you should have just, if that was the case, you should have had Raw win it. It would have made a lot of sense. A lot of sense, hands down, but it's in the books now. It's etched in the minds of people forever that it's actually 6-1 and it's not 6-0 or 7 or how 7-0, 8-0, however they want to fucking dub it. You know, everybody's going to remember that one blemish for Raw. But regardless, I have thought that with the way things ended with Survivor Series, we were maybe going to get back to basics with Monday Night Raw. There was a little part of me, and call me a dreamer if you want, but there was a little part of me that was hoping, well, you know what? And as I said on Survivor Series After Show, with SmackDown leaving the USA Network family, getting ready to move to Fox next year, maybe, just maybe, this was kind of Raw's way of reclaiming its dominance. Maybe this was a taste of things to come for the Raw brand as far as trying to get back to basics, right? Trying to maybe get back to good, because SmackDown is going to be just fine. I mean, they got Fox behind them. I mean, what better juggernaut force could you have in a TV distributor than Fox? Doesn't get any bigger, doesn't get any badder than Fox, right? Everybody's got fucking Fox. So to see the Raw that we got tonight was just, really? We're fresh off of Survivor Series? You did this awesome kick-ass take no prisoners sweep, cleaned house, and this is what was presented to us? So WWE basically tonight blew their whole load of greatest hits basically in the first hour. You're going, wait, So we got 2 more hours to go and there's no more overrun. You guys are freaking blowing everything. You're giving us your greatest hits in the first hour. What are we supposed to do during the next 2 hours? What are you going to be dangling over our heads to make us stick around? And it seemed like the only thing that they could really come up with was Seth Rollins chasing after Dean Ambrose in a big ass arena, right? We see Seth Rollins. He's still pretty pissed off about how Dean Ambrose has been conducting himself these past couple of weeks. He finally gets the answer that he was looking for as far as why Dean did what he did. He doesn't really accept that answer, but now that Survivor Series is in his rearview mirror, he knows that he'll be facing Dean Ambrose at TLC for the Intercontinental Championship. He can't wait to get his hands on him, but he's still like, he doesn't want to wait until TLC. He wants to get his hands on him as soon as humanly possible. So we see Dean Ambrose pop up via Titantron, and he's basically teasing Seth Rollins and kind of adds a little bit more to the wound, basically saying, hey, you know, what we had did and all that, you see what were the ramifications of that. You see that with regards to Roman Reigns, God got him back pretty good. Okay, referencing the whole leukemia. Fans didn't really like that. They booed the hell out of Dean for that. A couple of heckles here and there. And Seth Rollins, as far as Dean is concerned, well, he's in the process of getting exactly any and everything that's coming to him. Seth Rollins made an interesting observation, which was this arena that they were in tonight in Los Angeles. It was 6 years ago that the Shield had made their debut. So what a nice fine anniversary, right? Wow, that's pretty badass. So as this revelation was revealed by Seth Rollins, Dean had actually said to Seth, hey, I'm not that hard to find, brother. You can come find me. I'm chilling right here in the back. I'm waiting for you. So all throughout the night, Seth Rollins looking for him. It's kind of like your fucking Where's Waldo, basically, that's going on. Does not find him. Runs into a couple of security bouncer guys. What exactly they were guarding, kind of really don't know. Would have made a little bit more sense if they were maybe near some type of an entrance or something. But they were just there randomly. I saw those plant a mile away. Okay, Seth is supposed to attack them. Sure enough, he did. Acting was a bit crappy. A bit. Came off like a really, really bad soap opera. I don't mean like the General Hospital, Young and the Restless. I mean, they tend to give you some really good acting, but it kind of came off like one of those cheesy ass dramas back in the day that ran like 30 minutes long or whatever. I mean, it was really bad, the security guards acting, but yeah, it was what it was. Eventually, we see a scenario come about where Seth Rollins just says, okay, you know what? Pfft, forget it. Dean's just going to keep playing these games with me. I'm never going to get my hands on him. That's okay. I got him at TLC. It's all right. Forget about it. Forget about it. I got him at TLC. What do I care for? I got him either way. So he rolls out, closing out the show, Dean Ambrose, because he basically sees this as an opportunity to come to the middle of the ring, talk hot garbage to the crowd. I particularly did not care for the promo that he was cutting. It's just not working for me, man. I didn't care for the whole segment that we got last week where he's burning the vest and he's next to this little red Corvette. Baby, you're much too fast. Little red Corvette. Need to find a love that's gonna last. I was more interested in the damn red Corvette there than the fucking vest. I thought for sure when I saw that originally, I thought Dean was maybe gonna, I don't know, I thought maybe Dean was gonna throw a fireball into the windshield of that fucking Corvette and he was gonna just light that mother on fire. I was like anticipating that, but when he pulled out the vest, it was basically wah, wah, wah. So I particularly did not care for that whatsoever. I didn't care for that whatsoever. And yes, Gino, independent wrestlers were playing security. Come on, that's the best That's the best you can do. Where else would you go? Of course you got to show some love to the indie wrestlers. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Give them their 15 minutes of fame. Hey, look, I'm not knocking the guys. Their acting was definitely crappy. But you know what? They got their 15 minutes of fame. They were on TV. That's good bragging rights. You don't think that's going to help them? Watch every single one of those guys. They're going to be, if they don't already have their social media set up, right? Their social media accounts set up, they're going to. And they're going to be like, yeah, I'm taking bookings. Yeah. I've seen on Monday Night Raw. Hey, I ain't hating it, man. Get that money. That's what I'm all about. Get that paper. Don't make dollars. It don't make sense. I'm talking about that common sense. So, Dean talks this hot crap in the ring. Lackluster promo. I didn't really care for it whatsoever. It just wasn't enough for me. I'm not really feeling this whole heel Dean experiment. I don't like it. It's just not connecting. I don't feel it's going over that well. And if I get one more goddamn time, Renee Young as Michael Cole. Well, Renee, I gotta defer to you because of your relationship to Dean and all. And I like how they choose the right words, right? You've never heard flat out, like since Dean has been back, you've never heard Corey or Cole flat out say, Renee, what's going on? He is your husband. You guys are married. Can you clue us in? What the hell is going on with this guy? He's your man. He's your husband. What's going on? Tell us how he do. And I'm telling you, if I get Renee Young one more time, I don't know. I mean, bad enough. Her commentating, I love Renee Young. Lord knows I love Renee Young. She is a cute little button. I will defend her to hell and back. And I don't want to put all of it on her. But her commentating at the Raw position these past several weeks, now that some time has really settled in there, it just does nothing for me. And no, I'm not being sexist, so don't come at me like that. I am all for women having the equal rights, equal pay, better pay, more pay than the men if they are rightfully qualified for that position. I am all across the board, all for the women. It is no different, the criticism I'm giving Renee Young than the criticism I've given in the past to Jonathan Coachman, the criticism I've given to Byron Saxton, some of the criticism I've given to Booker T, Jerry Lawler. I've even said, I love the guy. I met him, love him tremendously. Speedy recovery, Mr. JR, Jim Ross. I've even said a little something about good old JR. So it's nothing. Everybody is on my table as far as constructive criticism goes. So please don't come at me. You're being sexist just because she's a woman. No. I don't know who is to blame for this. I don't know if it's a situation where Cole and them, they're being very restrictive on how much rope they're giving Renee Young to let herself be creative and everything, but it feels like she is just, she's locked in. It feels like a noose is around her and she can only do but so much. And for me, it's a little bit frustrating. You know, it almost kind of feels like you're just there to meet a certain demographic, particularly when women flip through the channels. So just sit there and just go, wow, oh my God, here he comes. Yeah, that'll get attention. Oh, look at those buns. I love Renee. I really sincerely do. I really do. I love her tremendously, but that's her commentating in a nutshell. Oh man. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Yeah. Oh, he didn't see that coming. Oh, you are so right. It's just, I'm telling you, dudes and dudettes, we could all, look, we know most of us men watch this wrestling stuff, right? Be honest with yourselves. If you have a woman that has been watching the product for like more than 3 years, I bet you I bet you $50 fucking dollars your woman could do better color commentating than Renee Young if there's no restrictions. The only logical thing that makes sense to me is Renee Young is being restricted like I don't know what. I'm telling you, I have a feel. You just meet this certain demographic, you know. Yeah, Susan G. Komen, check your boobies month, yay. So just sit there and look pretty and get that money. That's really how it comes off to me. And it sucks. It really, really fucking sucks. But I'm hoping that as time progresses, I just want to fast forward 3 months, maybe even 6 months, just to see what's going to happen. Like, is Renee Young going to be given a little bit more rope so she can really jump out there? Knocking on wood, I hope that really does happen for her. But if I hear one more fucking time Renee Young get the question of, Renee, what's going on? Okay, now I feel like I'm doing the Al Pacino, Bobby De Niro, and Baskin Robbins. I gotta go there now. It literally feels like, oh my God, Renee Young, what is going on with your man, Dean Ambrose? Every time I turn around, attacking people from the left, attacking people from the right. What is going on with your man? Hoo-wah! And she's just, Bobby De Niro, I don't know. I heard things. I don't know. Please, WWE, booking. I have a simple solution for this so that we can stop getting this question asked almost on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. Just have Renee Young say, Cole, Corey, I know you guys are always looking to defer to me because of my relationship with Dean. I mean, it's really no secret, me and Dean's connection, our personal life and all. But Dean is one of those type of people, and I'm sure Dean would not mind me saying this, as we sat down and we had a little bit of a heart-to-heart talk over the weekend. And Dean told me straight up that when it comes to work, personal affairs, rivalries, when it comes to all things outside of that ring, he does not want to talk about it. Whatever is going on between him and his brothers in arms that were formerly known as the Shield, that's his business. We just talk about me and him. We talk about the family. We talk about our friends. That's it. That's just one threshold that Dean will not cross. So please, I know that you guys have a job to do, and if I could, I'd give you whatever info I could, but Dean likes to keep things to the vest. This is one of them. Can't help you guys out. That's it. That simple goddamn line of words that I just put out there. Now, WWE can clean that up if it needs a little bit more cleaning up. But that is a good template so that going forward, that's all they got to do is just easily refer to that. Because if you're going to keep going to the well, people are not stupid. People know that those guys are an item. So it makes her look like a goddamn buffoon. Think about it. It's bad enough as it is that Renee Young's commentating is getting mocked. I mean, I just spent 5 minutes mocking her there. So it's bad enough her commentating is being mocked. But now to put her in a position where she looks like a goddamn buffoon. Well, sister, you should know. You sleeping with him. What do you mean you don't know? What are you, stupid? Seriously. So, please, WWE, make Renee Young look smarter than that, man. Seriously, make her look a lot smarter than that. That's just stupid. Eventually, Seth Rollins, he was just playing a con on Dean. He kind of figured that Dean was going to talk trash in the middle of the ring. Seth Rollins actually came one back, and I tell you what, the timing was a bit off because Dean's talking his trash, and then he looks at the Titantron, and he sees Seth Rollins. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out, holy crap, Seth Rollins, safe to say he's back in the building, what the hell. But Dean just continues to look at the Titantron, he's fumbling over his words, and I don't know if production maybe messed that up. It kind of feels to me like they shot back to Seth Rollins way too soon, and Dean did not play that up properly. I think if anything, what should have happened, Dean should have been cutting his promo. You guys stink. Really, I can't wait to get the hell out of this town. Hey, monkeys in the back, what's going on? Why you keep showing Seth? It's supposed to be about me right now. What are you guys doing? And then, like, Dean could follow that up immediately. What, is he here? Is he here? What's going on? Is he here? And then, once you see Seth Rollins at the gorilla position, just have Dean drop the fucking microphone and try to run up, meet Seth Rollins halfway, get the upper hand, beat the crap out of him. That would have made a lot of sense, but instead you got Dean Ambrose standing in that goddamn ring, crickets chirping, deer in the fucking headlights, as he's just there, you know, I'm waiting. Come as you are, as I want you to be. I mean, seriously. I mean, you could have made a fucking omelet the way Dean Ambrose was waiting for Seth Rollins. He should have been gone. He should have been hopped over that damn guardrail, and he should have been flying up the goddamn steps. All that crap. Seriously. That's what he should have been doing. But no, he's standing there like a goddamn idiot for eternity. That's not his fault. That's booking's fault. So I had a major issue with that. Pretty much ends their tumbling. Looked like Dean had the upper hand for a little bit. Seth Rollins comes in with a couple of super kicks. And I want to say the way Raw ended, I believe Seth had the upper hand. You know, he got his licks in. Dean escapes, kind of licking his wounds a little bit or whatnot. If I kind of messed that up a little bit, let me know in the comment section. I am reading it from you guys. Yeah, weird way to close out that show. Seriously, just really weird. Let's look at some of the other stuff that happened on tonight's Monday Night Raw. According to the notes here, and let me pull this up. You guys having fun so far? If you are, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate that. And if you have not done so already, do hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on all the great content that comes your way on a weekly basis. Yeah. All right, let's keep it rocking here. Keep it rocking, keep it rolling. See what else. So, Corbin, kick it off Monday Night Raw. Baron Corbin, Stephanie McMahon, glowing over the win that they had at Survivor Series. Corbin wanted for Stephanie McMahon to be a woman of her word, as remember, the word was if Baron Corbin led Raw to a sweeping victory, he would in fact become the permanent Raw General Manager. So Corbin was looking for Stephanie to make do on her word. Well, she did say, hey, I did say that. I did say that, didn't I? Yeah. Well, my word is my bond. And right before she could put it out there, Braun Strowman came on out. And Braun told Stephanie, hey, I led the team to victory. I deserve my match against him so he can get these hands. I also deserve my shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. So Stephanie makes a very interesting, and this was, I thought, one of the brighter spots for Raw tonight because of the way that it was booked. You want to talk about stipulations. You know, sometimes within recent years, we've seen WWE do these silly little stipulation matches and you go, well, that's good for them, but what happens if this person loses and doesn't get it done? Then what happens to them? And it's kind of like, well, nothing. This was smart booking. So basically, they are going to be having their match at TLC, which we have first talked about on the Survivor Series after show. And the stipulation, if Baron Corbin comes out on top, then he will become the permanent Raw General Manager. However, if he loses, then he is stripped of all powers. Again, he is stripped of all powers. Meanwhile, if Braun Strowman wins, then Braun Strowman will get his World Heavyweight Championship match against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Yeah? Looking in the chat, shout out to Jada Boo. Jada Boo says that Ambrose hit Rollins with a Dirty Deeds DDT. So I guess Raw went off like that. Are you guys that saw Raw? Did Raw go off? Because I was actually getting ready to do the show. So I saw when Seth Rollins did the super kicks. I thought maybe that was it. because it was like really, it was hard. I mean, they had a hard 2 minutes to get all of their stuff in as they went off promptly at 11, because nothing's more important than that country show that's on right now. I wonder how they're doing with the ratings, by the way. Very curious about that one. So there's your setup, but in the meantime, a 6-man main event match was made. We had saw the team of Braun Strowman team up with Elias, Bobby Lashley to take on Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin. Did I mention Bobby Lashley? I don't think I did mention Bobby Lashley, but one more time, it was Braun, Elias, Balor taking on Lashley, McIntyre, Corbin. Good 6-man tag team matchup. We pretty much had saw the numbers game in the end play up on Braun as McIntyre, Corbin, Lashley, and them guys did a serious number on Braun Strowman. This was a 6-man elimination tag, basically. And eventually it did come down to Braun, because they made work of the other 2 guys. So it came down to Braun, and you're like, well, this should be easy peasy, right? But that handicap, them guys went dirty on freaking Braun. They took the action outside the ring, got some steel steps involved. Braun, they messed his arm up pretty good storyline wise. They said that Braun Strowman had to go to the hospital and that he has a shattered elbow. So you hear that, you're going, shattered elbow? So does that mean he's not going to be at TLC in a couple of weeks? That's like 4 weeks away. Nobody can have a speedy recovery, be at 100%. If you have a shattered elbow, that match should kind of now be off, yeah? I mean, you would think. So, yeah, that's the direction that they're pretty much going with that one. Stupidest moment of the night, as if what I had said earlier about the whole Renee Young wasn't something. Actually, the stupidest moment of the night goes to Lucha House Party. Lucha House Party, so much confusion in this damn... I wasn't sure if I was watching a tag team match or if it was a one-on-one match, because there was just so much chaos going on. But I tell you one thing that was really fucking stupid was, okay, Lucha House Party. Okay, Lucha Libre, Lucha Wrestling, Mexican Wrestling, Latin Wrestling. Okay, we get it. We get it. Latin, we get it. Nah, but if that's not enough, we gotta have one of the Lucha House Party members, Grand Metalik, hold on to a goddamn stuffed piñata, and he's passing the piñata around. They're basically doing like dodgeball. I think they're basically playing dodgeball. It wasn't on Scott Dawson. It was Dash Wilder that they were doing it to. I mean, eventually Lucha House Party, they picked up the W. Kind of utilizing the Freebird rule still, right? But I'm looking at that spot and I'm just going, and look, I wasn't being racist, but I mean, look, if you're Latin, you can't help but go, really, WWE? And I put the tweet out. I'm like, really, WWE? You already got these guys out here. You've already dubbed them Lucha House Party. Their names have a Latin, Latinesque to it, okay? Do we really need to throw further, insult to injury and, oh, a piñata? Like, the only thing that was fucking missing was giving these guys a fucking pupusa, burrito, and a fucking taco, and avocados from Mexico. Like, that was the only thing that was fucking missing for these guys. That was way overbooked, I personally felt. They didn't need to do that. That was just freaking stupid as far as I was concerned, and it really made the stock of Dawson Wilder come down even more as far as I was concerned. I mean, here is a really good, credible tag team, nice, good throwback tag team, and for me, it just really kind of seemed like WWE tonight was basically throwing in the towel on Dawson and Wilder. That's the way it kind of came off to me. I didn't like seeing them in that position. One would like to believe, oh, this is just going to help them get even better, help them even better move up the card. Yeah, whatever. From one bad moment with the tag division to another bad moment with the tag division, you had a spot backstage where Drake Maverick was in catering, trying to enjoy some food, and Boy, was he the butt of all jokes when it came to all things urine and pee-pee and all that. I like how the brother said to him, hey, how are the peas? That was nice. I love when he collided with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, basically telling them, you guys are in big trouble. You're in big trouble. And they both just start busting up laughing at him. And he's like, what? And they're like, you said you're in trouble. You're in. And I mean, that stuff was funny. But I'm just picturing Vince McMahon in the back there.
Yeah, right. This will give me a laugh. We gotta piss himself there. Piss himself. Need some diapers. You need some Depends. You're pissing yourself.
Hey, it's just, you know, I hate to admit when somebody is right. But I've been on this show since like day one. And I'm sure many of you, the fans out there, because I mean, we all are fans at the end of the day. I'm sure collectively at the very beginning when we saw that Paul Ellering was dismissed and eventually Drake Maverick came to the scene, I'm sure all of us collectively said, this doesn't make any sense. What the hell? Right? And so you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, let's try to make sense out of this. Well, Drake Maverick is in a position of power because he's the manager of 205 Live. Okay. Okay, and he's a small guy, so he's trying to make these guys come off, you know, really intimidating or whatever. Okay, I can kind of, but I don't like this laughing stock element that is attached to AOP, because now I'm going, so what the fuck does AOP now stand for? Does AOP now stand for area of piss? Right? Or, you know, or I don't know, I don't know, AOP, I'm sure I can have some very fun, playful words with that one, but area of piss is what I'm going to go with for now, because you got to be careful, because when they're near, there's an area of piss that always follows, so area of piss. I don't like what's attached to them now. It's really silly, it's stupid, and this is a serious problem that I have with the booking of this. How do you not have Akeem and Razir address Drake Maverick pissing on himself at Survivor Series? All you had to do was some type of a little small backstage segment as we're getting ready to set up this match. You could have had Razir and Akeem say to him, hey, are you okay? We saw what went down Sunday night. Hey, man, we just want to make sure that something like that is never going to happen again, because we don't need that type of embarrassment. We don't need that type of stuff attached to us. Because if this is going to be a problem, we need to know right now so that maybe we go our way and you go your way. And you could easily have Drake Maverick, no, we're okay, we're good guys. You know, I promise you guys something like that will never happen again. I promise you guys, blah, blah, blah. It would have been nice had they did some type of a follow-up like that, but they did not. And I think that was sorely needed, because how do you not acknowledge that? I think any other alliance that you could possibly think of back in the day, as far as storyline continuity goes, you would have seen a position where that would have been addressed. You know, it wouldn't have been a situation where those members would have embarrassed their own. They just would have been like, hey, like I said 2 seconds ago, hey, are we good? Is something like that going to happen again? Or are we on point here? So, wasn't feeling that whatsoever. Ronda Rousey, that was the spot for tonight for me. One of the best gracing moments for me. On top of how they had set up that whole stipulation thing between Braun and Corbin at TLC. I love how they had Ronda Rousey come out. She basically came out swinging, saying, hey, you know, as long as I've been a fighter, I've been in 17 fights, and I've had a lot of personal problems, a lot of personal matters that always went down, and no matter what, I went forward. I pushed forward. I did these matches. I didn't back down. I didn't quit. And fans were kind of eating this up. Fans were really chanting for Becky. You're like, you do know she's not there, right? You do know she's not going to be back for a few months, right? It was a mixed reaction that Ronda Rousey had received. And I tell you, the Los Angeles crowd last night, when they were chanting the whole nah, hey, goodbye to Ronda Rousey, I just couldn't help but go, you guys do realize she's holding on to a title, right? You guys do realize that we're going to be seeing a lot more of her. I really felt that she got the bad end of the stick in the way that match had finished. Because that was without a shadow of doubt. And I've heard so many of my other colleagues and everybody else online, you know, it was almost a toss-up for a lot of people. Everybody was going Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan. And a lot of people gave the edge more to Charlotte versus Ronda, as you should, because the blueprint that Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan had utilized, it was almost kind of similar to what went down at Survivor Series last year when it was Lesnar and AJ Styles, if you really kind of stop and think about it. So for me, you know, that Ronda Rousey Charlotte match was fucking awesome. And if there was ever a time where you give both women a standing ovation, Survivor Series would have been the night. And to not see Ronda Rousey get that standing ovation Survivor Series, and then she comes out tonight and she doesn't get that standing ovation, I'm kind of going, hey, you guys that's in this arena here for Raw, because the crowd was pretty, you know, lackluster. They kind of acted like they really did not want to be there. It's like, you guys do know that this is Monday Night Raw, right? Like, if you wanted to go to SmackDown, you shouldn't have paid the money to come to Raw. Like, seriously, that's really what I was thinking at that point. But no, we saw Ronda come out basically fighting champion. She said, look, I may be injured, but I'm out here. I want a challenge. I'm out here to fight. I'm out here to defend this title. So give me somebody, come on out, play your music. Let's have this match. Corbin came out. He wasn't having it. He actually tried to protect Ronda. People were booing him, but he actually was trying to protect Ronda. He's like, hey, you're really in a condition where you should be fighting. As a result of that, no, I'm not going to sign off on this. And Ronda's like, no, you're going to go back there and you're going to find me an opponent, or maybe I fight you. How about I fight you? Baron didn't like that, as he basically said, okay, you know what? I'm going ahead. I'm going to find somebody, and whoever that person is that I find, they're going to be the next Raw Women's Champion. We saw Becky Lynch answer the call. Love me some Becky Lynch. I thought for sure we were going to be getting a classic matchup. You know, I really had... Excuse me for thinking that we were going to get an entertaining, maybe a 2-segment match between Ronda and Mickie James. I really thought we were going to be going there, but it probably did go 2 segments. I really should be saying 3 segments, but it wasn't the match that I thought it was going to be. I'm sure for a lot of you hardcore country Mickie James fans, it was nothing hardcore about that match. We pretty much saw Mickie James tap out. I mean, that match was so damn short. That match probably went about 5 minutes, I would honestly have to say. Weak match. Ronda celebrating her win. We see Nia Jax, chorus of boos. She's with Tamina. Nia looks on at Ronda, points to her fist, kisses it. Okay, you got that fist acknowledgement. Maybe somebody from WWE is listening. Sometimes, once in a blue moon, a couple of people in WWE, I find it interesting. A lot of you listeners have always pointed it out to me. Hey, Lee, you said this frame for frame, and now WWE is doing it to the T. And it's like, sometimes you'd be surprised. They do. They legitimately do. I like the fact that I said on the show Sunday night, hey, you should have had Nia utilize that fist, somewhat similar to Big Show WMD. Like, that needs to be her new calling card, right? And she just needs to keep knocking bitches out until she locks it up with Becky Lynch, and then you pretty much take it from there. So the fact that they had Nia acknowledge that whole fist thing, that was a nice touch by WWE, but I'm still holding their feet to the fire, and I want to see Nia Jax from here on out just knock bitches out. Just wham with that fist. When all else fails, it ain't going her way, just knock a bitch out. That's all I want to see from here on out, right? And just keep playing it up just like that. And see, While a lot of people, and I'm very surprised at this, while a lot of people have been crapping on Nia Jax, you know, whether it's, oh, Nia Jax is a bit sloppy in the ring, she's a bit rugged, blah this, blah that. One thing that y'all keep forgetting about Nia Jax, and I'm very surprised that WWE, with 4 weeks to go until these girls lock it up, because they are going to be locking up at TLC from what I understood tonight on Raw, is that these girls did lock up before. And to date, that was the best singles match that Nia Jax ever had. Don't believe me, go back and watch that. And I remember vividly the next day, after we got done doing our pay-per-view recap, and I was curious what some of my friends and colleagues had to say about that match. And they were ranting, they were raving, they were putting Nia Jax over as well. So, you know, I know we got a lot of people right now, they want to get all upset because Nia did what she did to Becky Lynch. And yeah, it is unfortunate and everything. And yeah, can she be a little bit sloppy? Can she kind of come off sometimes a bit phoning it in, kind of like Nakamura, you know, just there to collect a paycheck? Yeah, but that one match that she had with Ronda Rousey, I mean, they really have brought out the best in each other. Ronda has definitely continued to excel, without a doubt, with each opponent that she's been able to face. Just a great evolution that we're watching. It's like watching a painting on a blank canvas come to life, take shape, take vibrant colors, and you got the contour lines going on, all that. It's great how she is coming along. Nia, I'm telling you guys, mark my words here on this episode, Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, when they do lock it up at TLC, it's going to be another classic. I don't know if it's going to match up to what they did last time. I think it's going to come pretty damn close, though. So, other than that, yeah, Raw, I would have to say overall, lackluster episode. Not what I was expecting, especially considering Raw did a clean sweep. Definitely was not expecting it to be as lackluster as it did. Shout out to who else we got in the chat here? Daryl Jackson. Laughed every time Daniel got suplex. I did not. To each its own. I did not laugh because, and I saw what you guys were saying online as well, especially some of you fellow podcasters. It was like, especially that first suplex that he took. I mean, it looked like he legitimately hit his head, and we all know about the concussion problems that the man has been having. He's one concussion away from that's it. And that's no laughing matter. That's no joking matter. I will never laugh at, I don't laugh at spots like that, especially if I know that a person has a history, you know, a physical history. I don't laugh at stuff like that. So Daryl, you are all alone on that one, my friend. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed the match. I mean, yeah, was it great from the standpoint of seeing Brock Lesnar manhandle Daniel Bryan? Yeah, but in retrospect, I was on the show saying the same thing, as a matter of fact. It's like I was not feeling those German suplexes. I cringed every fucking time that Lesnar did those damn suplexes, and I was actually happy as hell when Daniel Bryan had finally got in some good serious offense. I really, really was. I agree with Gino. Revival is being used terribly. I said, Gino, that's the thing. I said it on this very show that Revival should go to SmackDown. I was very passionate about it. I said they will get lost in the shuffle if they go to Raw. And sure enough, that's exactly what had happened with them. It fucking sucks, man. Fucking sucks. Let's get into some more headlines here. We still got plenty of showtime to go, man. All right. Hey, I asked you guys to sound off on a poll that we got on the YouTube channel. Head on over there by clicking on the Communities tab. Communities tab. Asked you guys, would you like to see more Monday night episodes of the RCWR show? You got some options right now. Your first option, yes, but just Raw recap only. Next option, we've got yes, give me the full RCWR show I've come to expect, move to Monday. Third option, yes, but give me a Tuesday episode as well, so 2 shows weekly. Fourth option, no, stick to Tuesdays with occasional Mondays here and there. And our last option, no, just Tuesday shows and Saturday NXT with Sunday pay-per-view shows just fine. Votes are early coming in right now, but right now it is 60-40. We got 40% saying no, just Tuesday shows, NXT, Sunday pay-per-view shows, fine. And at 60%, we got folks saying yes, but just Raw recap only. So sound off. If you didn't vote yet, vote. YouTube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab. Cast your vote that way. Like I said, we got a lot more showtime to go. We're going to dive into some headlines. It's everything that you've come to know from the RCWR show. It's just, me personally, if I were to choose, you know, I would say out of those options, I would say move the show to Monday, right? Doesn't that make a little bit more sense? You're getting the RCWR show. I mean, seriously, in 2018, who just solely wants a Raw recap when you can have so much more colorful stuff that's happening in wrestling headlines, all that good stuff? Why just a Raw pay-per-view recap? There is like a ton of those already out there. Not trying to persuade you guys. I mean, you cast your vote. I'm saying at the end of the day, I am going to be considering the feedback and I'll make a final decision. But I mean, if you ask me straight up, that's honestly where I'm at. Is why not just do 2 shows? Why not do a Monday show and why not do a Tuesday show? I don't know, to each its own. But you guys sound off. Don't let me influence you in any type of way. All right, I'm just saying. All right, let's get into some headlines here. Shout out to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be undergoing a knee surgery in January, and as a result of that, he will be missing a little bit of time off. He had shared the news a couple of days ago via social media. He had talked about how he heard a pop in his knee while testing a t-shirt throw to the crowd at the Ring of Honor Global Wars event out in Buffalo. And this injury, it forced him out of his IWGP US Championship match against Beretta at Global Wars Toronto. And he got the results of the MRI, and according to the results, he sustained 2 tears, 1 vertical and 1 horizontal, on the medial meniscus, on the meniscus part, and that's going to require arthroscopic surgery. So he tweeted out that the good news was that his MCL, PCL, and ACL were all structurally sound, avoiding more serious injuries. So at this point, he's going to go on ahead and he's going to keep all of his remaining dates intact. And he's pretty much going to get the knee cleaning up and all that after Wrestle Kingdom coming up in January. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be out for about 6 weeks when he gets this surgery. So, I mean, that's not really too bad. You're basically talking a month and a half to 2 months top. That's not really that bad at all when you really stop and think about it. So as it speaks right now, he's just rehabbing the knee. He's got a wrestling event coming up for ROH. It's going to be in New York City. It's going to be Final Battle, as it was announced a couple of weeks ago. He's going to be taking on Jay Lethal for the ROH Championship. And how fitting is that? When he made his debut in ROH, his very first opponent was Jay Lethal. And now, as he's going to be leaving ROH, because he had revealed that a couple of weeks ago as well, is that after this match with Jay Lethal, he would have fulfilled all of his commitment dates to ROH, as he's kind of given the indication, at least, without really saying it flat out. He's given the indication that he's going to be moving on from ROH. So kind of find that bittersweet, that the first person in ROH come across Jay Lethal, last person you come across as you're somewhat on your way out the door is Jay Lethal. So good luck to both of those guys. Those guys should be having a fantastic freaking matchup. Also, so we talked about it on, I think it was a special RCWR show breaking news piece that we did for you guys, which was the whole James Ellsworth thing. And, you know, look, I don't have really anything new to add with regards to the whole James Ellsworth. Everything is still as it stands right now. It's just really disturbing. It's really sick. I had the opportunity to marinate on it a little bit more. And, you know, if there was one thing that I kind of found if there was one thing that I kind of found a little bit odd, it's the fact that, okay, you're being attacked. You, the man himself. This is not just your name. This is your brand. This is how you're making your money. And for you to not jump out there and make a statement. Now, some people will say, but he said something through his lawyer. For me, I've always been a sucker for one that when it comes to self-accountability, especially even if the allegations are not true, I just always find it very admirable when a person steps up to the plate and says, hey, I spoke with my lawyer and I told them I was going to be making this statement, but as far as, what I have to say with regards to this whole ordeal, let me stress, let me repeat, I did not have sex with that woman. All I did was give her my big bubba. I gave her a piece of my big bubba, and she enjoyed it. That's all I did. But I did not have sex with that woman. I just gave her the big bubba. Right? So, everything still kind of stands where it is right now. But I can tell you this much. James Ellsworth, he's been replaced at Robbie E's live show. There's a seafood bar and grill that's out here in Baltimore, Maryland. And he was attached to that. He had somewhat top billing, but he's been replaced by Gilbert. Gilbert has freaking taken his spot. But now, it's sad. It's really sad hearing this story, and you want to talk about fucking self-destruction. I mean, all the major news fucking outlets have captured this and they are running with it, whether it's Newsweek or The Sun. I mean, everybody and their mama has been covering this, and it doesn't look too good. If you were a James Ellsworth fan, it does not look good whatsoever. And, there's one thing that I want to stress, and I want to commend all the major online publications, podcasts that have put the spotlight on this. But at the same time, I feel that collectively we should be doing a lot more than just reporting. And I say that because, and I know some people are going to say, Lee, we still got to follow the evidence now. We still got to make sure it's 100% bulletproof. And, but I mean, as incriminating as it is looking right now, it's like almost 70% safe to say that this dude's fucked, right? But as much as it was badass to see everybody just come together and talk about this whole ordeal, reported it and everything like that, I really think that we need to do a better job in not just reporting, but also taking it a step further and getting in contact with, child predator organizations, like the guys that were Perverted Justice, and they were helping out Chris Hansen all those years on To Catch a Dateline. I found myself over the weekend looking up classic episodes of To Catch a Predator online. One of the episodes, I told you about the rabbi. I actually had shared the rabbi story earlier this week. I shared a little something on Twitter, and that was funny as hell. If you guys remember the rabbi from Virginia, drove thinking he was going to be hooking up, having sex with a 13-year-old boy, if you remember that one. But then there was the other one where there was a repeat offender. There was this weird, mentally challenged looking dude. He was probably in his 40s at that time, had the mind of a 7-8-year-old or whatever, but he somehow had the common sense to find somebody's home. I mean, he comes into the home, strips down ass naked, sitting there on the bar stool, and he's whacking off. And Chris Hansen is behind him, and he's just looking on. And Chris is just look like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's actually whacking off. Like, he just comes in, gonna drop my drawers, gonna take off my shirt, gotta scratch my balls, gonna sit right here, and I'm gonna stroke it. It's like... It's like, dude, yeah, make yourself at home, why don't you? Yeah, get one off, why don't you? Yeah, my floor could use some more wax. Yeah, go for it, dude. And yeah, that dude, so many problems that that dude had. I mean, he was a repeat offender. Like, I think within that same season, he popped up on To Catch a Predator like 2 or 3 more times. And Chris Hansen's like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? We just saw you. I mean, that dude was just... And guess who's taking care of him? His now 80-something-year-old dad. Right? He doesn't work. I don't even think the brother collects a disability check for his... Yeah, right? So anything that he needs, food, toiletries, to and from somewhere, like his daddy is taking him all over the place, right? But like, I like that we had perverted justice, and I don't know if they're still running around, because I know Chris Hansen's kind of brought somewhat of what he was doing on Dateline back on his new show. I think it's called Crime Watch or something like that. So he's kind of brought that back on the saddle again. So I don't know if he's hooked up with them again, but we need to all do our part in, okay, once we have somebody's real name, that's all we need. You would be surprised how much information you're able to get when you have a person's real name, and you can go online and you can find out where they live, all that shit, to the point that, you know, really we should be like, hey, we need to get in contact with the district's attorney, or we need to get in contact with some type of a perverted justice company, organization, National Institution of Exploited Children, I think that's the name of it, or Missing Children or whatever. We got to do our part in making sure that we report on stuff like this. You know, don't just have it be, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast, I'm going to talk about this on the website. I'll give you a perfect example. I know I'm making it crystal clear, but I'll give you a perfect example to back up exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that listen to Wrestling Soup, and Mish will tell you this. I'm not sure if Mish remembers it though. But one of the ways that me and Mish had became friends years ago, this was about maybe 6 years ago. I remember I was on Twitter one day, and one of my followers was like, Lee, can you do me a favor and can you report the fuck out of this Twitter handle? He's showing child photos. He's showing child nude photos, and it's got like kids in these bad, uncompromising positions with these grown-ass men. It's totally sickening, man, that this guy has a Twitter account. And I actually clicked on it, and I'm like, holy shit. And I mean, I was pissed. I was fucking pissed. I wanted to catch a fucking Greyhound, catch a car, taxi, Uber, do whatever I needed to do to fly to this motherfucker's house, and I wanted to bash his fucking face in. I wanted to grab a pair of scissors. I wanted to cut his dick off. All right? I was traumatized at what I had saw. So, not only did I report his Twitter account, John Walsh at this point, he had the new show The Hunt with John Walsh, which was basically a ripoff from America's Most Wanted, except now he was only focusing on like one guy per episode for like a whole hour. And I was following John Walsh at the time, so I remember I actually had tweeted him, and I'm like, hey dude, it's like, we got to get this creepo off. And you know, at that point I was kind of only here and there kind of talking to Mish, Solo Monster, a couple of other people, and I just remember I ended up sending them private messages. And I remember a couple of days later, Mish, out of everybody that I had messaged, Mish was the only one that sent me a private message back and was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, hey, what happened with that dude? And I told him what was going on, and that was kind of like one of the things that made us friends pretty much ever since then. So I definitely think that, you know, we need to do our part a lot better than just reporting the news and talking about it on podcasts. You know, report these motherfuckers. Even if it's a situation where it turns out that person did not do anything wrong or what have you, we still need to do our part in reporting it. You know, I'm seeing now more than ever in this society, everybody wants to fucking be, oh my God, I got something. I want to be the first. I gotta, this is going to give me so many likes. This is going to give me so many follows. Oh my God, CBS is going to want to use my shit. You know, we see so many people that are doing that. And it's wrong on so many levels. It really, really, really is. You know, I get it. Everybody wants to get their brand, get their product out there. They want that recognition. I get that, but sometimes you got to learn when it's not just about you, and you got to do something bigger than yourself for the greater good. Perfect example. I'm sure you guys had heard about the story that had went down at a Chipotle here in the U.S. There were like some black guys that went into a Chipotle, and they were trying to get some free food basically from the Chipotle crew. And the manager, I think she was a Hispanic female. I'm not really sure because I didn't get a chance to hear the audio. I just basically saw the closed captioning of what she was saying. Because sometimes I like that. Sometimes because I listen to music all day, I do a lot of audio editing. Sometimes I just want to kick back for about an hour or two. I won't play anything with sound, so I'll just read closed captioning. And she basically, in a nice playful way, she tells these black guys that, you know, you ain't gonna get nothing because you guys never pay, you know, pay first. And meanwhile, there was a white couple that apparently had got their food for free, supposedly, but like actually they ended up coming back to pay for their food. They basically were trying to eat first and pay later or something, some jazz like that. And these black guys, without this manager knowing, without the crew knowing, they were being filmed. And the way that this brother tried to spin it online, he tried to spin it as racism. He tried to say that he was denied service, that him and his friends were denied service after a grueling workout or whatever because they were black. Meanwhile, some white people were able to get their food for free. And so when you first hear that story, you're going, holy shit, that's so wrong on so many levels. God damn, that makes me mad. Well, goddamn, fuck Chipotle, right? That manager, fire her, all, and that's exactly what had happened. But here's the twist. It turns out that brother that had put the video out, and you know, he's telling all these news affiliate people, oh yeah, use my shit. Yeah, go ahead, you got my permission, use it on CBS. Yeah, it's so wrong what happened. Well, the dumbass motherfucker did not have enough common sense to clean up his timeline, because earlier, like, I don't know, like 2014 or some shit like that, right? There was a history, though, on his Twitter timeline. The guy was always bragging about how he would always go to Chipotle, other restaurants, eat his food, and dash. Never paid. He's been MIA ever since he got exposed. Now, he tried to delete his little Twitter timeline and everything, but that's the beautiful thing. Once it's out there on the web, it's out there. You can delete it all you want. It's always there on the web and will be until infinity and beyond, as I used to say a while back, right? I say that story to basically bring up this point, which is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Everybody is so in this, oh my God, I gotta bust out the phone, I gotta record, I gotta talk about this, oh my God. And it's like, sometimes you gotta know when to take a step back and, okay, you know what, this is above me. I need to be beyond this, because this is not just about me. This is, you know, and on the flip side to that, we've got to be very delicate now more than ever. I'm really starting to realize in this new era that we're in right now, you got to be very careful about what all is being reported, because looks can be deceiving. It really can be deceiving. I told you the keys that I was going to be looking for with regards to James Ellsworth. And if you didn't catch that piece that I was talking about when I first reacted to the news of James Ellsworth, after you get done with this, piggy on back, check it out. I think I was talking about it for like about 25 minutes, give or take. And I made a lot of good, insightful points that you guys would definitely appreciate. Hey, Jim Ross, shout out to Jim Ross. I told you guys he had a nasty fall a couple of days ago. Bless his heart. He's actually gonna be going to the WrestleCade event over the weekend. Bless his heart, because he looks like a honey badger now. He's got matching eyes and everything. He looks like a little honey badger, a little raccoon or whatever. He's actually going to be going. I know I mentioned that on the show a couple of nights ago, but something new with regards to Jim Ross, as a little bit more information has come about, and he's pretty much clarified, and I definitely wanted to talk about it just for a couple of minutes, nothing long drawn out. That's the fact that Jim Ross confirmed that his role on AXS TV's New Japan Pro Wrestling TV show is going to be coming to an end at the end of this year, and as a result of that, sadly, with his current deal with the WWE, they're permitting him to renegotiate a new deal. So any type of negotiations that Jim Ross wants to do with entities outside of WWE, he has to wait until March, when his contract with WWE expires. When I first heard that, I couldn't help but go, that is so fucked up. Because unless I'm missing something, and I'll rely on you guys, I'll defer to you guys. Is Jim Ross doing a boatload of stuff for the WWE network that I don't know about, that maybe I need to get back on the saddle and be watching the network religiously like I used to a couple of months back? Because I haven't heard anything about Jim Ross, and I say that because that just comes off so jaded to me. Oh, well, we got to do everything we can to keep this person over here because we don't want them going to the competition. We don't want them going to, because if they go to the competition, oh my God, that's major for them. That's a notch on their belt. No, we got to do everything we can to keep them over here. That's just how it comes off. And I don't really appreciate that move that the WWE is doing. I think, honestly, it's like, look, if you're not using the man for special projects, and I told you guys how I said it many times over the years, from the moment that Jim Ross had signed with the WWE, I had said to you guys how I would properly utilize his talents. And just to reiterate once again, for the record, I had said, hey, remember Legends of the Wrestling Roundtable show that Jim Ross used to do? And it'd be him with legends of the business from yesteryear, and like for a whole freaking hour, they'd be talking like just one topic. And I remember him and Gene Okerlund. They would basically host the show. It was a great fucking series. If you guys have never seen that show before, I would say go out of your way. It's on the WWE network. If you do have the network, check it out. Last I saw, it was still on there. Hopefully they didn't take it off. You might be able to find some episodes on YouTube, Daily Motion. But that was a great fucking series. You could utilize him for stuff like that. Like, if there's ever a void that I noticed with regards to WWE network content, I thought Legends with JBL was a really great show. And I was so heartbroken that they got rid of it. Well, why not do a Legends with JR show? Kind of do the same format, but it's with JR. I'm not really sure if the results would be the same as far as viewership and all that. I think it would be a really good show if you came out swinging, especially if you had a really good, strong cast. First premiere episode, you have Stone Cold Steve Austin and Jim Ross shooting the shit, going back and forth for a whole hour. Yeah, who wouldn't want to see that? Next episode, you're talking with Mick Foley. Yeah, who wouldn't want to see that? A candid conversation with Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. Yeah, who the hell wouldn't want to see that? Triple H. I mean, to see him in this position where he's just talking to, all of the greatest minds, maybe eventually you have JR sit down with Vince McMahon. I mean, there's so many cool things that you could do with JR if you utilize them properly. But that's just one way you could do it. You could do a new updated version of JBL, but just do Legends with JR. You could definitely bring back the Legends of Wrestling Roundtable. You could definitely do that again. I'm not really tripping so much over the whole color commentating. I'm not really tripping over that. You know where else Jim Ross was really, really strong at too, that I thoroughly had enjoyed? I had enjoyed him on the WWE DVDs from back in the day when, you know, you could hear him, you know, he's interacting with them and, you know, he knows all the questions to ask. He was really good at that type of stuff as well. Get him involved more with these network specials, right? I mean, if you're not going to be utilizing him the way that he really should be utilized, I mean, a great mind like that, and you're not tapping into it, then it's like, why the hell do you even have him? Seriously. I know there's a couple of libraries that WWE had recently acquired. One of them is a promotion, I can't think of it right now, but one of them, they're going to need help with English commentating because the whole library is in Spanish. So I'm going, okay, well, if the ball hasn't already started rolling yet, you got to get Jim Ross in there. And I don't know, maybe you get him in there with, that's a good question. Who do you pair him up with, though? That's a very good question. Well, if Alberto Del Rio wasn't such a goddamn screw-up, Alberto Del Rio and Jim Ross on commentating, that actually might be interesting. You can't go with Chavo Guerrero because Chavo's, you know, he acts like an asshole, so you can't really go with him. And sadly, Chavo Guerrero Classic, he passed away, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he passed away a couple of years ago, so that's not really going to work as well. Yeah, I think he passed away last year, if my memory serves right. He passed last year, I want to say like first quarter of 2017, like around somewhere between January to March. I think Chavo Guerrero Sr. had passed away. He'd have been perfect. Him, JR, they would have been perfect. I'm just going down the list and I'm trying to picture who you could possibly go with. And the only names I could, wow. Well, you know what? I think I just stumbled into something. How would you guys feel about whenever they do launch this? How would you guys feel about JR and Rey Mysterio doing color commentating? That actually might work. It might work. But no, you got to figure out ways to utilize the man. It doesn't make sense to tie him down to this contract and you're not utilizing his skills. You don't need to have him on the road and all that. I get it. He's up there in age, but come on. You're not going to be putting him to work. Let him make these deals outside. So I can't wait to see what's going to be happening with New Japan Pro Wrestling because the last batch of tapings for the TV shows remaining here for North America to see, I think JR is supposed to be, I think he might be with Josh Barnett now dropping the audio because I think he said he's either getting ready to drop it now or in early December. And that's basically going to help AXS TV for like the next 3 months or whatever. But powers that be at AXS, they decided they were going to go on ahead and just move completely away since they don't have JR anymore. Apparently, Josh Barnett also is not going to get picked up. So it's like, damn, well, that sucks. So curious what direction they're going to be going in now with regards to that. But shout out to JR. I hope everything seriously ends up on the rebound for the man. Bill Maher, fuck you. Plain and simple. Fuck you, Bill Maher. I'm sure by now, unless you were under a rock, you saw the crap that Bill Maher had said about Stan Lee. Even had the audacity to compare him to Trump. Bashing the hell out of comic books and everything. And I wrote a very passionate post on Bill Maher's blog site where he put up this article of his. I took a look at the comments over there and there were a lot of people that were ripping him a new you-know-what. And I find it funny because Bill Maher does all this trashing of Stan Lee, puts down the comic books and, you know, bashes the whole, oh, these comic book movies and all that. But he sure as hell was good enough to take that payday in Iron Man 3, wasn't he? He was good for that, though. He was good for teaming up with Marvel and doing that. So, fucking hypocrite. You know, it's weird. You know, part of what I had said to Bill Maher, I said, dude, I grew up on you. I watched your show since you were on Politically Correct, ABC. Thought it was wrong how ABC did you. It sucks that,
you know, and Bill Maher is one of those type of guys. He can come off like a smug, arrogant asshole. Laugh at my jokes, people. If you don't laugh at me, if you don't believe in my ideology, I'm going to crucify your ass. He always comes off like that. But even for me, this was a new low that Bill Maher had hit. And I just was not feeling it. I just was not feeling it. I mean, when you really take a step back, Stan Lee was one of the first in an era where, you know, in his lifetime, in an era where he experienced Malcolm X being killed. He experienced Martin Luther King Jr. being killed. The Kennedys being assassinated, right? I mean, he experienced all of these things. He experienced the whole civil rights movement. Women being in a position where they can vote and equal pay, all that. Stan Lee was one of the fucking pioneers in his industry to basically show through illustration how society was acting when he had these colorful characters in the Fantastic Four, you know, X-Men, Thor, you know, Spider-Man, which, you know, Steve Ditko doesn't really get a lot of credit, sadly, and definitely want to show him love and everything with regards to the whole Spider-Man. But, you know, these were powerful beings, and in the cases of X-Men and all that, you know, they were born like this. They, you know, and if you're Spider-Man or whatever, even if you weren't born with these gifts, just the fact that you have it, you were labeled a certain way. You were labeled a mutant. And anybody that remembers, I mean, can somebody get Bill Maher the fucking first season of X-Men the animated series from the 90s? I mean, that was some heavy shit I mean, they captured that all beautifully. It was a great caricature of what was happening in our society that still kind of happens to this in our society to this day. You look different and I'm going to treat you a certain way. People running around saying, speak English. You're in our fucking country. Speak English. You know, and it's like, leave that family alone. You know, Bill Maher is just a pompous asshole. I didn't appreciate anything that he said. And kudos to Marvel. They had put out a statement. They lit his ass up. Real good. I want to read to you just part of what Marvel Comics had said. Well, actually, no, not Marvel Comics. We saw what Marvel had said. It's actually Stan Lee's company I want to mention. That was the latest one that stepped up and said something. So Stan Lee's company, PAL Entertainment, they had an open letter earlier today in response to the blog post by Bill Maher. And in response, Lee's company had wrote, and I quote, Mr. Maher, comic books, like all literature, are storytelling devices. When written well by great creators such as Stan Lee, they hopefully make us better human beings. One lesson Stan taught so many of us was tolerance and respect. But thanks to that message, we are grateful that we can say you have a right to your opinion that comics are childish and sophisticated. Many said the same about Dickens, Steinbeck, Melville, and even Shakespeare. And this letter also called Maher's statement disgusting before emphasizing the importance of Lee's work in providing hope for readers who have felt different or have been bullied. Quote once again, but to say that Stan merely inspired people to watch a movie is, in our opinion, frankly disgusting. Countless people can attest to how Stan inspired them to read, taught them that the world is not made up of absolutes, that heroes can have flaws, and even villains can show humanity within their souls. He gave us the X-Men, Black Panther, Spider-Man, and many other heroes and stories that offered hope to those who felt different and bullied, while inspiring countless to be creative and dream of great things to come. And I don't know how explosive the comments are now on Bill Maher's posts. But if you got a cup of coffee, maybe you're working a night shift or whatever, you like reading, my handle, the RCWR show, you'll have to scroll. I think I posted it. I think I posted it Saturday is when I posted it. It was rather lengthy, but everything that I said to Bill Maher, is exactly everything that basically PAL Entertainment had embodied. for people like me and what Stan Lee's work had meant to me and everything. And I can tell you, I've always been a fan of Bill Maher's, always been a supporter, so much so I've got a autographed photo of Bill Maher was waiting to be hanged up on my wall, but after that whole spill that Bill Maher had, put out there, and he's yet to put out an apology, I think I'm done. I definitely feel 95% certain that my support for Bill Maher is over. I'm not going to continue to give him the time or the day. He makes a lot of good points from time to time, and you're like, hey, didn't consider that, didn't think about that. But yeah, man, fuck Bill Maher. Gino, I think Chavo and his father was part of the concussion lawsuit. They were, Gino. So even if Chavo Classic was alive, WWE and Chavo Classic be on bad terms. It's possible, but we can't really say that because, we've seen some people, hey, why am I involved in this lawsuit, man? This is stupid. And, they drop out of it, and then eventually they're back on good graces with the WWE, So, we can't really say how things would have played out with Chavo if he were still alive. I'm only telling you, in a perfect world, Gino and everybody else, what my color commenting would be if I could have it, no strings attached, no issues whatsoever. So I do think the team of a JR, Rey Mysterio, I think that team would actually be pretty solid. A couple of more headlines I want to get into as we get down to the wire here. Hey, Booker T, he had to set the record straight on the CM Punk story that was put out there by Chris Jericho and Cody. You remember the story about on the cruise? And they were talking about how CM Punk had proclaimed himself as a locker room leader and all that good stuff. All right, well, Booker T had talked about this on his respective podcast, and he cleared the air up, and he said, and I quote, "The story that I remember, I just want to clear it up more than anything. I don't want the fans to think that Booker T is a bully, that Booker T got heat with CM Punk, that Booker T don't like CM Punk. The story that I remember was there was some thievery going around in the locker room. Guys were getting a lot of stuff stolen, iPads, laptops, chargers, stuff like that. What happened was CM Punk, myself, and Big Show. The problem had to be addressed by the boys. We didn't bring the office in. We felt like we had to have a meeting about this. I said, hey guys, come on, we're brothers. I should be able to leave my wallet in the middle of the locker room, go to catering, and when I come back, somebody should say, you forgot your wallet, I picked it up for you. That's the way we are as a brotherhood. Big Show said a couple of words and echoed what I said. Some guys, it may have went in one ear and out the other, but hopefully the guys were listening. We were just trying to make a point, but being the elder statesman in the locker room. We were just trying to make a point, being the elder statesman in the locker room. Booker then continued, then CM Punk comes in and says, if I find out who's doing it, I'm going to kick the son of a gun's behind. He had some explicit words in there. He was a real mean. I don't know if that was when he started training and the testosterone kicked in or what. Oh man, he said, I was like, oh man, somebody look in my bag and see if there's an iPad in there, because it kind of made me hot. I didn't think he addressed the situation quite the right way. That's all it was. So, and everybody seems to be missing the one smoking gun while they were covering this whole Jericho, Cody Rhodes, and they're throwing their darts at CM Punk and they're making fun of him and everything. Everybody was missing one major smoking gun with regards to this in their poor coverage, I personally felt. I'm not bashing it, but it's like, see, this is why I like when we do this show, because I put it all out there. And then I have you walk a certain way, and you're like, you know what? I didn't think about that. Not till you brought it up. While everybody else was talking about this, I was waiting for somebody to say it. Somebody on social media, in particular, about what Cody and Jericho had said about Punk. I was waiting patiently, even waited an extra week or two. Nobody said it. Now I'm going to say it. Isn't it interesting how Jericho and Cody took shots at a man that they both had respectfully tried to do business with at some point, and Punk had turned them both down? Jericho wanted for CM Punk to tell his story as far as why he left the WWE. And CM Punk, he kind of figured that, nah, what's going on here is a big ass load of bullshit. What you're trying to do is get me on your show for the ratings, for the views, for the downloads. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm not having any of it. And for those of you that's tuning in right now and you're kind of going, what's going on with the Raw recap? We spent the first 50 minutes of the show reviewing Monday Night Raw. So you may be able, even though we're live for the next little bit, you may be able to rewind back to the beginning and get your Raw fix that way. But now we're just going through some wrestling headlines at this point. So we're kind of at the tail end. Welcome to those of you that's checking us out right now. You're checking out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders, covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Once again, we talked about the Raw full show results at the beginning of this episode. We did about maybe 50 minutes talking about Raw, and now we're just going through some other topics. So Jericho tried to reach out to CM Punk to come on his podcast, and Punk saw right through this bullshit that Jericho was trying to spew and wasn't having any of it. And Jericho has been kind of coming off a bit bitter ever since. Now, Colt Cabana, some could maybe say, hey, he used his friendship as a way to get in with CM Punk and get that interview. You might be able to actually make that legit argument. You actually might legitimately be able to make that argument. But that's a different time. That's a different topic. You know, all that another time. Meanwhile, you go to Cody Rhodes, and say what you will. You know, I'm not bashing these guys. I'm just giving you guys the truth. Cody Rhodes tried to get vigorously CM Punk to appear at All In, do something, but Punk wasn't having it. So I find it interesting that on this cruise that they dedicate a moment where they're basically making fun of CM Punk, the same guy that they, for all the crap that they were talking about him, they tried to do business with Punk. I'm not sticking up for Punk or anything like that. I'm just trying to bring the clarity to you guys, because there was one way that this was spinning on the web and podcasts, and nobody was looking at that fine line of, says the people that probably are mad that they couldn't get his services. That's the bottom line. Why are we getting dislikes right now? That's the thing I don't understand. If you guys have not left a positive thumbs up, please leave a positive thumbs up. I mean, seriously, because at the end of the day, I'm spending my quality time here. I'm doing a show Monday nights. I usually do not do a show Monday nights. If you're looking for a Raw recap, come on now. You guys should know YouTube by now. YouTube pulls down any YouTube channel that is not authorized by them in showing WWE actual footage. That ain't happening. I've seen so many channels get pulled down so fucking fast because they try to show some WWE footage that is not even funny. Not even funny. If you don't have the WWE network and all that stuff, I mean, honestly, like I always tell people, if you're looking for actual Raw content, head on over to WWE Fan Nation on YouTube. But I'm like noticing here within like the past 2-3 minutes, dislike, like what's going on? And like nobody's leaving comments as far as why they're disliking. So if you're watching and you've been enjoying the show, please leave a thumbs up, because honestly, at the end of the day, cool video creators like me, you know, we want to feel encouraged to keep dedicating time and all that to hook you guys up with some of the great content that you guys have come to know and love, and coverage and all that good stuff. It sucks that we got some people that just, you know, but it is what it is, man. Anyway, a couple more wrestling topics to get into. Marinate on that, though, what I just said about Cody Rhodes and Jericho there and the whole Punk deal. Bet you didn't hear that from anybody else. Well, now you heard it here first. Can I give a little bit of love to... Well, actually, let me get to that in a second. Interesting. Enzo Amore. He's got a diss track. It's called Live a 30 for 30. It's on his new album that he put out. Apparently, this is talking about Liv Morgan. Can I read to you a few lines of this? I mean, this song is so far. So the song, it includes a nod at the very beginning to the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And then he starts talking about how hard it is to keep a relationship while he's on the road, because he's on the road 200 and something days and all that other shit. So I got to read these lyrics as Enzo.
I could see a little future with you. I'm more mature than you. I gotta do what's best for you. I'm sorry. I just wish the biggest lesson I don't taught you was never to let other people see this thirst. I've been getting tagged in your thirsty picture, posting you be doing on the gram. I know how the game works. I don't put you on the game first. It's only a matter of time before you're smashing what's his name at work. So much that I could say to you, you reached out to me repeatedly. I see you every week and ain't got shit to say to you. I don't want to give you hope. I could never just be friends. So I told you when I quote, I mean this when I say, never speak to me again, let that burn.
I tell you, man, I listened to this album. Yeah, get that, God, I didn't pay for it. Good beats. As always, Enzo's got good fucking beats. Whoever does his beats, I like them. I love them tremendously. But when he starts doing his thing, I could care less. I honestly could care less about what I need a transcript, damn it, for when Enzo is whatever he's doing. I need a transcript because I need to read what the hell he's reading. Are we sure this is a rap song? I don't know if this is how rap is today. Seriously, you guys that's into the rap, this is how we're doing it today. I mean, I'm from the Common, A Tribe Called Quest, Cypress Hill, fucking Eminem, Redman, Method Man, Rakim, Ghostface Killer, Eric Sermon, Jay Dilla. I'm from that crop, right? This is how we're doing it today. This doesn't even come off like a goddamn rap song.
I could have seen a little future with you. I'm more mature than you. I gotta do what's best for you. I'm sorry. I just wish the biggest lesson I don't taught you was to never let other people see this thirst. I've been getting tagged in your thirsty picture posting you be doing on the ground. I know how the game works. I don't put the game first. It's only a matter of time before you're smashing what's his name at work. So much that I could say to you, you reached out to me repeatedly. I see you every week and ain't got shit to say to you. I don't want to give you hope. I could never just be friends. So I told you and I quote, I mean this when I say, never speak to me again. Let that burn.
You kids today and your rap, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is some fucking garbage. I would have a field day. Maybe I should review this album. I stay reviewing albums. You know what? That's going to be your Thanksgiving present from me to you. From our house to you, right? From my house to yours. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to review the Enzo Amore album. That should be fucking hilarious. All right. So anyway, I tell you, woo-wee. Impact Wrestling. Got a little bit of bad news, but I got some good news as well. Don't know what's going on with the TV deal yet. Hey, I say first things first. Let's see if Pop TV is going to renew Impact Wrestling. Let's first go there, because we still don't have an official statement that Pop TV is going to can Impact Wrestling. But I'm sure you guys probably heard Moose. Oh, Moose does not like what's going on with the new time slot. Moose had jumped out there and he said the new time slot sucks. He admitted he doesn't like it. For them to come on that late, you know, hardly people are watching. He doesn't like it, but he said, hey, at the end of the day, I'm paid to wrestle. You know, so I let the higher ups deal with those issues, but I don't like it. So he's been very vocal. Appreciate that. Nice to hear people be pretty fucking honest. I mean, think about it. It's a Thursday night and you're coming on at, what time are they coming on, guys? They're coming on at, what is it, 10 o'clock? Yeah, I think they're coming on at 10 o'clock now. So basically 10 to midnight. Most people got to get up for work, school the very next day. Ain't nobody going to be staying up that goddamn late. It makes more sense to do it on a Friday night. Friday night at that time, you could probably get away with. You could probably get away with. You might be able to get away with Saturday nights, 8 to 10 p.m. I don't know. I don't know, man. Seriously. But I don't like that. They hit a new ratings low with last week's episode. It's not looking good though. It's just they moved to that new time slot. I mean, I tried to tell you guys, I tried to tell you all to anticipate this. And I'm not surprised. Neither should you guys be surprised. Because look, when you're getting ready to move to a new time slot and you give basically a week's notice, less than a week's notice that you're going to be doing this, that is catastrophic. Unless you are like The Walking Dead and you got like 5 point something million viewers an episode to about maybe 7 point something million. Unless you're averaging something like that and then you're like, hey, you know, in 3 weeks, Walking Dead moves to Monday nights, you know, unless you're hyping it up like that, it's detrimental. And for Impact Wrestling, history has shown repeatedly that when they move to another day and time and they give very little short notice, their ratings suffer. Now, in the instance of when they went to Spike TV, a little bit, but they actually grew. But just think about that. Just think about that. So Spike TV to Destination America, from Destination America to Pop TV, look at that steady decline. It's like, where are all those people going? They didn't die. Where did they all go? And that new time slot, I think it would have worked. I got to defend Impact Wrestling a little bit. I think it would have worked if Pop TV would have said, okay, you know what? We're going to push hard and we're going to put all our money, our resources, and we're going to make sure that everybody knows that you guys are moving to this new date and time. Whenever I've gingerly changed the channel and it's on Pop TV, I saw no references to Impact Wrestling moving to its new date and time. No references whatsoever. So it's like, what the fuck? So unless you have a really good advertising and social media campaign and hyping up the new date and time, also, you got to put that with Impact Wrestling stars. You got to think from a business standpoint. All right, that's the social media. Okay, we've got TV ad spots, plug in our new date and time. Now for the trifecta, let's have our talents do interviews. Let's have them go on SiriusXM. Let's have them go on Trusted Podcasts. And let's have them talk Impact Wrestling, talk about the new date and time. Hell, maybe you could do some type of a contest, right? Where they're going to announce the winners on the premiere episode of Impact Wrestling at that new date and time. You know, well, same day, but different time slot. You know, you pull out all the fucking tricks so that you can get this done. And it's sad that Impact Wrestling is now in this position that it's in, but I don't really fault them. I really, well, out of 100%, I give them 60% of the blame. I give them 60%, but you know what? They are trying. I mean, they've been in some growing pains. They've been in a serious rebranding process, and for the most part, they've been doing the best that they can. And I like some of the new people that they've added on and everything, but it's going to take a lot more. It's going to take a lot more, especially when you just consider the roster of Impact Wrestling, like just say 3-4 years ago. I mean, drastically different compared to now. Now, I did say there is good news for Impact Wrestling. The good news is that Impact Wrestling, they successfully sold out for their Nashville homecoming event that's going to be happening in January. So congrats to them for that, for selling that out. They did manage to dig up some more VIP packages. I think they had like about 15, 20 something available. If you guys, you know, maybe are looking for an opportunity, head on over to the Impact Wrestling website. Also, congrats to Chicago. You guys are going to be getting Survivor Series next year, as it was first revealed by the Chicago Tribune, an old paper that as a kid growing up in Chicago, I used to love reading with my parents. I remember vividly reading the reviews by Roger Ebert. If I'm not mistaken, he had wrote for the Chicago Tribune. So I'm ecstatic, and I put the tweet out. I said, dude, if Survivor Series is going to be in Chicago, I've got another reason to come on back to Chicago Survivor Series weekend. I am so taking advantage of that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be getting tickets to Survivor Series. I think it just depends on, you know, what I'm going to be doing. But I'm definitely going to be going to Chicago. There's part of me that's kind of going, you know what, go on ahead and go to Chicago, get a nice hotel, you know, hang out there, interact with some of the WWE fans at, you know, around the arena or whatever, you know, enjoy the city nightlife. But when it comes to watching the actual pay-per-view itself, just watch it back at the hotel room. There's part of me that's kind of thinking maybe just do that. But I don't know. I don't know. It's up in the air right now, but I'm like 90% interested in actually attending Survivor Series next year. And I got a correction to make. No, if my memory serves correctly, Roger Ebert, I got the papers mixed up. Roger Ebert actually used to write for the Chicago Sun-Times, is what he used to write for. But I do remember reading the Chicago Tribune. I used to read that religiously. I remember that was one of the first newspapers I had came across when the late, great mayor, Harold Washington, had passed away. And yeah, he was probably one of the best mayors that Chicago ever had. I feel sorry for you guys with that Rahm Emanuel dude. Why he has not been let me not say that, but why he ain't been demoted yet, I don't know. I have my guys mixed up. Yeah. So Roger Ebert was Chicago Sun-Times. Gene Sisco had wrote for the Chicago Tribune. If my memory serves right, you Chicago natives, let me know if I messed that up in any way. And what else? So we talked about that. One last thing, Kota Ibushi, talking New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kota Ibushi, he's going to be facing Hiroki Goto for the Never Openweight Championship. Got a new update with regards to that. So I'm sure from what you guys that have been following New Japan Pro Wrestling, what's been going down the past couple of weeks is we have seen Hiroki Goto. He's been trying to challenge Ibushi, and hey, come on, face me for the Never Openweight Championship. And you know what? Why don't you face me at Wrestle Kingdom? And Ibushi just kept refusing. He did not want to fight at Wrestle Kingdom. So it looks like what's actually going to be happening is the match will not be happening in January. Again, the match is not happening in January. At Sunday's World Tag League show, that's where Goto had confronted Ibushi one last time, and he basically tricked Ibushi. And Ibushi fell for the bait, finally accepting Goto's challenge. So the fight for the Never Openweight title, that's going to be taking place December 9th at the Awadi Industrial Cultural Center in Japan. This also happens to be the finals for the World Tag League tournament. Just to give you guys a update on that. Meanwhile, Tommy Tonga says Kota Ibushi could be the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling new LIJ member. So a video of that floating around. So meanwhile, this is going to be Goto's fourth title reign with that championship. This is his fourth title reign. He defeated Tachi at Power Struggle in order to become champion once again. Originally, it was supposed to be Itachi versus Will Ospreay, but if you guys remember, because we talked about it here on the show a couple of weeks back, Will Ospreay, he had, got injured, sadly, so that pretty much was off the table, but it's possible he may get a shot at the winner of that event coming up in December at January's Wrestle Kingdom. So I'm definitely going to be checking out Wrestle Kingdom. I always look forward to those events. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I want to get into. And I think that's pretty much it. Kate, can we get into some shout outs? Can we get into some sponsor shout outs and all that real quick? Shout out to our Patreon members. And if you're not subscribed to patreon.com, you really should be. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Get access to bonus episodes of the RCWR show, new episodes that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. We've got the 30 with Lee series reviewing movies. I can't wait. Me and the missus are going to be seeing Creed this Thanksgiving, and I believe we're going to be posting that like ASAP. We just aren't sure if that's going to be a free-for-all or what. We'll figure it out by Thursday. We also got the Green Book movie. I can't wait to see that. There's the movie with Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart, Nicole Kidman. Bryan Cranston plays a quadriplegic, and Kevin Hart is his caregiver, basically. That looks like it's going to win a lot of awards. I got my fingers crossed on that one. That one looks like it's going to be fucking awesome. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be reviewing for 30 with Lee. And then you got the Wrestling with the Topics series. We still got to sit down and pump out at least one Wrestling with the Topics. There is the newest episode of 30 with Lee. Me and Tommy have reviewed Daredevil, the 3rd season. So for those of you that may be a little bit curious what we thought about that, because she loves Daredevil. Of all the Marvel shows, that's definitely one of her favorites. And I can tell you, it was nice seeing her come home and go, hey, can we watch Daredevil? And it's like, and she beats me to the punch. It's like, okay, it's good when you got the missus saying, hey, I have to turn on that Daredevil. It's like, all right, awesome. Shout out to our Patreon members, because without their kind contribution, shows like what you're checking out right now would not be free. Shout out to Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup. Shout out to John Davis, Joe Raymond Jr. Special shout out to some of our sponsors. I got to show extra love to one sponsor in particular, Tony Bing Gaming. If you love all things Marvel Strike Force, you want to know which characters you should be investing in, you need help with, succeeding in key raids, blitz modes, etc., Tony Bing is the man you want. Check him out. He's actually on YouTube, youtube.com/Tony Bing Gaming. He's got tutorials. The works gives you access to new characters that's in development, new game modes, all that. youtube.com/Tony Bing Gaming. And he's also got a Patreon set up as well. Check him out, patreon.com/Tony Bing Gaming. And for you young folks out there that happen to be students, and maybe you're in that position where you're not quite sure what to do about that student loan you had got, as far as making payment arrangements, loan consolidation, all that jazz, be educated, be a good consumer. I'm telling you, when me and my friends were in school, we didn't have the information that we needed as far as somebody guiding us along the way. It was pretty much just, you need money for school? Fill this out, go here. And it's like, yay, got the money. And nobody broke down interest rate and all that other crap to us. Check out onlineloans.deals. That's onlineloans.deals. They got a lot of great resourceful information that'll help you guys out with regards to all things student loans. So check them out. And also, we have a shout out for another sponsor. I'm trying to see if I can actually pull them up right now. And bear with me a second here, guys, because I got to show them love. I told them I was going to actually promote this tonight. And I'm hoping I have it here, because if I don't have it here, then yeah, I don't have it, sadly. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll actually add that to the downloads. That's what I'll do. I'll add that to the downloads. Actually, you know what? Let me see something here real quick. Because, see, I don't know if they're going to be checking out the live stream. That's the only thing. So bear with me a second here, guys. You guys having fun? You guys enjoyed the show? If you haven't voted yet, do sound off. Let me know what you had thought about the show. Give me that thumbs up. And then remember, we got the poll for you guys. We got the poll for you guys asking you all if you would like to see more Monday night shows. So sign off on that. And you gotta bear with me here. I thought I originally posted it in the fucking episode description. By the way, all that information, if you had missed it, check out the episode description. I got the links for everybody. I just thought for sure I had the link for this one last sponsor that we were trying to plug here. And I'm gonna plug them right now. So let me see if I can find that. Yep, there we go. Got the link. Oh, no. I don't have the link. Wait a minute. Let me try that again. Let me take a little pause. Let's see here. If you guys want to call in, you can call in. As we're getting ready to wrap the show up here. Let me just pull this up real quick. I'll edit all this shit out later. At least for the downloads, I'll edit this out. Nope. That's not it. So maybe it's this one? Maybe it's this one. No, it's not that one. Huh. That's weird. I could have sworn. Well, you know what? I think I found the guy. My bad. I found the guy. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I had all this set up. Somehow, when I did the copy and paste, I fucking copied the wrong goddamn thing. So, hang on a second here. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to author Chris Morgan. He's got a Kindle book that's out right now on Amazon.com. The name of the book is titled Ultimate Productivity: How to Work Smarter, Gain Time, and Protect Your Sanity. Ultimate Productivity: How to Work Smarter, Gain Time, and Protect Your Sanity is a powerful step-by-step guide to dramatically improving your personal efficiency. If you need to better organize your day, your life, especially when it comes to your family life, or if you want to get the things done more efficiently without wasting time, this no-nonsense, easy-to-read productivity manual will teach you highly effective work techniques and strategies. Ultimate Productivity lays out straightforward, easy-to-follow strategies that will help you reach your personal and professional goals. It's time to get things done. So yeah, if you are a procrastinator, basically, this is the book for you that will help you out. Check that out. That is on Kindle.com. Good low price. You can't beat it. $3. $3, $0 if you have Kindle Unlimited. While this episode is processing for you guys to watch on demand, I'll make sure I properly put that link in for you guys to check out. Shout out to, popping my head in the chat here. Who we got in the chat here tonight? Johnny, thank you for that Enzo Amore impersonation. Glad you loved it, buddy. Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Steven. Steven asked the question, Lee, if Becky Lynch is going to be out for a couple of months, what they going to do with the SmackDown title? Let me think. I don't think Becky will. I don't know. I don't think Becky's going to relinquish the title. I'm not really getting that vibe. I think, if anything, there may be a month where Becky... Let me tell you what's going to happen. I think 30 days is going to pass. And then just when the 30-day mark is about to hit, it's going to be brought to the attention, right? And then I think Becky will have to pick somebody to represent her while she continues her recovery. And it may very well be Charlotte Flair. It very may well be her. I'm not seeing the title being vacant. I would actually be pretty stunned if they went on ahead and vacated the title. I think this is still touch and go for the WWE. I mean, at this point, though, with the concussion that she had sustained and, you know, broken nose, all of that, I would like to believe that Becky is probably going to need at least until January. And I think that might be just enough time for her to heal up and get back into the groove of things. But we'll just have to, I tell you what, we got SmackDown Tuesday night. We'll see how that's going to play out. I mean, you would like to believe that storyline wise, with SmackDown getting embarrassed the way that they got embarrassed at Survivor Series that Shane McMahon is going to have a fucking meeting with everybody in the middle of the ring to kick off SmackDown, and some asses are going to be fired as new people are being brought in. You like to believe that maybe something like that is going to be happening. So SmackDown is going to be fucking interesting. I think it's going to be the more interesting show to be checking out compared to Raw. A lot to look forward to. By the way, getting a little bit more info now about AJ Styles, apparently around the rumorville, so just take it with a grain of salt, but apparently it's being said that he suggested that he drops the title to Daniel Bryan. This way he could spend a little bit more free time with his friends, and in particular with his family, as he is in the middle of renegotiating a new deal with the WWE. Report has it, and this report was it was either PW Insider or it was by Fightful. I'm leaning more towards it was Fightful.com from Sean Ross, basically saying that the type of deal that AJ Styles wants is somewhat similar to Randy Orton. At this point, AJ Styles is going to be 43 next year. He wants a more limited, reduced schedule. Like I said, somewhat similar to Randy Orton, if you have an idea of how his schedule has been working. And no matter what, guys, if push comes to shove, things don't work out between he and the WWE, he has to stay with WWE through April because of the 2K challenge for the WWE 2K19 video game. So that's what's going on. But yeah, I'm trying to think when. I think his contract is up in April. I know he made his debut in January and everything, but I think the contract that he has, I think it's up in April. If not, his last obligation to the WWE and all that officially will be that 2K event. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out with AJ Styles. And I mean, look, for the 374 or something like that reign that he had as the WWE champion, I mean, he really did his best that he could to put SmackDown on his back and really help that brand out. And for that, I think we all definitely, he deserves an ovation for that. Was he the type of guy that you had to run to the gates and you had to cough up your money to see? Probably not, but definitely as far as in-ring competitor goes on the blue brand, one of the fucking best. And for all the labor that he's done this past year, I mean, really the past 2 years. That first year was a little but these past 2 years, I mean, he's really, really nonstop. If anybody deserves to have a reduced schedule so they can spend more time with their family, kids, definitely him. I mean, Daniel Bryan's kind of getting the hookup. Randy's got the hookup already. Why not AJ Styles for everything that he's done, everything that has been asked of him to do for the company? No matter what, he's gone out there like a true freaking pro and he's done it. So I hope that WWE does give the man what he rightfully deserves. He's definitely earned it. I mean, it's no different than in the real world. You basically go to work every day, you clock in on time, you meet all of your deadlines, you stay, work a little OT for extra couple of hours, you do everything that's asked of you, you go above and beyond for your employer. Yeah, when it comes time to open up them books, as I always say, and you need that pat on the back, if they don't give it to you, then you already know you need to be looking elsewhere for another gig that is going to hook you up, as I always say. So, well, on that note, guys, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the RCWR show. Please, man, it was fun doing a Monday night edition for you guys. If you enjoyed this, and I have a feeling you will, pretty fun, please thumbs up and let your voice be heard. Go to youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab. We got the poll. I'm asking you guys if you want more Monday night episodes, and you tell me, what you want. And what I'll do, I promise you guys, I will sit down, I will go over everything, I'll talk with the family, and based on your results, we'll try to see where we can go. That's going to be the only thing I'm going to post on YouTube for this week, because I want to give that as much attention as humanly possible for other people that's going to be coming across this on demand and potentially on the downloads. So that's like the first thing they see when they go to the YouTube channel. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Shout out to Facebook. We've been picking up a few more followers. I see we're like very close to breaking the 3,000 mark for likes and follows on our Facebook page. And I look at every single person that likes the page and all of that, and these are legit real people. So, you know me, I don't do that whole, I did that once many years ago, and I tell you, don't do it. Don't go with the whole spam bots and all that. Don't do that. It fucks you up. It fucks your numbers up, and eventually everything catches up with you, and you just look like a fucking dick. So don't do that, right? Don't do that. But shout out to the new people that we had picked up on Facebook. We also had picked up a couple of new followers on Twitter. We picked up like a decent amount of new Twitter followers, I would say, within the past week and a half. And it's kind of interesting because, you know, Twitter's doing the cleanup now. And the cleanup that Twitter is doing, they're basically saying, okay, we're going to get rid of these dead accounts because, yeah, they're following you, but they're not interacting. They haven't posted anything for 4 years. These are dead accounts. We're just going to close them out. I'm fine with that. So it's been kind of interesting, like, for every, like, for example, I'm just throwing in analogies. So let's say I get 10 new follows. All real people and everything, of course. And for every 10, it's like, okay, well, 5 get taken away because it turns out these accounts were dormant. So it's kind of interesting. It's really starting to balance itself out on Twitter, but I do appreciate those of you that gave me a follow on Twitter. I will definitely do my best to try to interact with you during this week as we get ready to go into the holiday break. Also Facebook as well. But yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, use the keywords the RCWR show. I will definitely be having a very good and happy Thanksgiving, and if you're following me on social media, I'll definitely be sharing a couple of videos, a couple of photos here and there. But from my family and friends to yours, I want for you guys to have a very safe and happy Thanksgiving. If you're going to be driving, I literally watched the news right before I came on the air. You know, Tuesday, if you don't notice by now, Tuesday is the busiest time of the year in Thanksgiving week because that's when everybody and their mama wants to go on ahead and travel. So please, have patience when you're out there on the road. They say that the worst time to be out there is between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So it's going to be very congested out there. So if you're out there during that time, have a lot of patience, and y'all will get there eventually, but get to where you need to get to safely. All right, guys, much love. Enjoy the happy Thanksgiving holiday. We got content, bonus content that'll be coming at you guys, Patreon and for on demand and on the downloads. And until next go round, your next edition of the RCWR show will come at you on Tuesday, back to Tuesdays, Tuesday, November the 27th, 10 p.m. Eastern, after SmackDown goes off the air. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you may have missed on demand and on the downloads, also on YouTube. Be safe, be kind to one another, and I will see you guys next go round. Adios!